Coming up in the morning edition, 2 suicides in the capital overnight. The PM opens a health conference. And Police Month continues. Carpe diem, opportunities are like sunrises. If you wait too long, you will miss them. I am LaDawn Davis. Welcome to the morning edition. To start your day off just right, our chief meteorologist, Basil Dean, is here with the weather update. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDawn. A beautiful morning on the start, but we still have that frown boundary dissipating across the central and southeast Bahamas, and that will give way to a mix of cloud and sunshine later on today. So stay tuned. The details coming up later in the newscast. Outside of our studios, we have partly cloudy skies, temperature at 73 degrees, relative humidity 68%, easterly winds at 13 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,019.4 millibars at 30.10 inches, and it is steady. Temperatures around the islands this morning, 72 degrees in Marsh Harbor, Green Total Key at 70. 70 also in Freeport, Grand Bahama, the Berry Islands at 74. Allenstown, Bimini, 75. 73 in Harbor Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera, Otterstown, Cat Island, Staniel Key at 75. 75 in Kemps Bay, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. In San Salvador and Rum Key, 73 degrees. 76 in Georgetown, Exuma. 76 also at Ragged Island, Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Megawana, 75 degrees, 75 in Acklands, Matthew-Town, Nagua, and the Turks and Caicos Islands. Your boating forecast for today in the northwestern islands, easterly winds 12 to 18 knots, the wave heights 3 to 6 feet with a moderate chop in place. Low tide 7:26 this morning, high tide at 1:15 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands today, your winds will be out of the east around 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet, and that means small craft should exercise caution in the central and southeastern Bahamas. That's going to do it for your first look at one of the morning editions. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Vaughn Albury is standing by with the traffic report.
This traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow. Yes, we are on Paradise Island. That shot you see, our drone shot, is of New Providence. We are on Paradise Island. That shot is looking toward New Providence. We are on Ocean Boulevard here on Paradise Island, and there are a number of Bahamians. In fact, more than 7,000 people work here at Atlantis. So a lot of people are making their way over the Paradise Island Bridge, the Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge, to work this morning. Talking about traffic, with me, Sergeant Jerome Thompson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Is there any issue of traffic when you're coming over the bridge?
There are no major issues. Sometimes you have a heavy volume of traffic on the bridge, and that is controlled by the toll booth workers who normally work in an efficient manner.
There you go. Could you tell us what happened overnight?
Overnight we had a total of 7 accidents in the last 24 hours, one of which involved an accident with injury, but the person was not detained by hospital. Now,
yesterday you reported that there were a number of accidents, 2 hit and run. Any update on those incidents?
Well, those persons who were involved in a hit and run accident, the persons who fled, we should have those persons in our custody pretty soon. They'll have the answer to being involved in an accident and leaving the scene.
Okay. And your advice to motorists?
I like for motorists to, have proper planning. Plan your route before you leave home. Prepare for anything on the road so you leave out in a timely fashion. So in the event of an accident or any broken down vehicles, you could still reach your destination in a proper time. And also, I would like motorists to practice patience. Don't believe because you might have wake up late, you could come on the road, run the red light, create your own lanes, because we will put you before the court, and you will have the answer to whatever offense that we report you for.
Thank you very much, Sergeant Jerome Thompson. The long arm of the law will always get you. Back to you in the studio.
We start the news on a very sad note. We have had 2 suicides overnight, one taking place not long ago over on Paradise Island. Vaughn Albury is standing by on Paradise Island with the details. Good morning, Vaughn. In light of what has happened overnight, we have asked a leading counselor, Barrington Brennan, to join us this morning in studio. Okay, well, Ron Aubrey is standing by over on Paradise Island with a look at what's happening over there in the wake of those suicides rather. Good morning, Vaughn.
Yeah, good morning again. We are again live on Paradise Island. In fact, Ocean Boulevard. Those 2 suicides overnight. With me, Inspector Leonardo Burrows, to give us the detail. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Vaughn. Good morning, Bahamas. Police are currently investigating 2 suicide incidents that would have occurred over the course of the night. In the first incident, we received reports shortly after 9 p.m. that a male was found unresponsive in his home by a relative. EMS personnel were called to the scene. They pronounced him dead right in the home.
That's Eastern New Providence.
That's Eastern New Providence, Twynham Heights. In the second incident, police received reports sometime after 2 a.m. that a female was found unresponsive by residents in a home. EMS was also called to the scene, and she was found unresponsive and pronounced dead at the scene. Both matters are being investigated by police officers, and we are currently appealing to members of the public that may feel depressed or that may be going through issues to speak with loved ones, seek counseling. We're also encouraging members of the community to be supportive of their family members and be supportive so that we can do what we can to support our family members.
There you go, Inspector Leonardo Burrows. Again, suicide, depression is a real matter. You can call the Bahamas Crisis Center at telephone number 328-0922. Again, we're outside the Ocean View apartments, condominiums, in fact, 10-story. And then in this building, to my right, is where a young woman was found unresponsive, making 2 suicides in just a matter of hours. Back to you in the studio, LaDawn.
Coverage out there on the field, Vaughn. In light of what has happened overnight, we have asked a leading counselor, Barrington Brennan, to join us this morning in studio. Barrington, we wish it was on a positive note. Welcome to the Morning Edition.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So talk to me a little bit about suicide. I know it's an ugly word. What do you think actually causes persons to want to take their own lives?
A person would have reached a state of inability to cope, to manage their problems, leaving them with a state of helplessness and hopelessness.
And is that common here in the Bahamas?
Using the word common is scary. It is too often. It happens too often in our country. Comparing to other countries, I'm not able to give, but we have a painful level of suicide in the Bahamas, the amount of persons who attempt or succeed in suicide.
So can you say we've seen more males taking their lives as opposed to females, or is it on the same level?
Well, normally, I think that's the case, but usually women attempt more than men, but men succeed. And then women tend to come in for help more than men before, when they reach a place of despair. So that's the facts, how we know it in the Bahamas.
And what are some of the signs of suicide?
Suicide, the person can reach a place of hopelessness and helplessness. There are situational and behavioral signs. Behavioral signs may be a loss of crying a lot. When you deal with situational signs, maybe a serious loss of a relationship, unwanted pregnancy, being treated not badly by their family members. Even the stigma of suicide can precipitate suicide. Because of the approach or the views and the myths we have on suicide in this country are not helping those who are in despair.
And just before you go, any advice you want to give to persons considering suicide?
Persons considering suicide, I would encourage them to seek help, call a professional, call a family member, but those around them need to be aware that something is happening, and instead of condemning, reach out to try and understand.
Barrington Brennan, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition at such short notice. Best of luck to you. Thank you so much. Delegates attending the Bahamas Medical Dental Association's 47th Scientific Conference will hear from 30 local speakers and over 20 international speakers over the next 2 days. As a member of the medical community and the association, Prime Minister the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis officially welcomed the delegates to the event at the Bahamar Convention Center last evening. He explained the government's push to fight chronic non-communicable diseases like diabetes and hypertension.
We must do more to combat these diseases which rob us of general health and too many lives. Along with climate change, the explosive incidence of NCDs represent two of the greatest threats to national development. As a matter of urgency, we must more aggressively address sugary drinks and the role they play in obesity, especially childhood and adolescent obesity.
The Court of Appeal was expected to hear submissions Thursday relating to Peter Nygaard's appeal against his contempt of court convictions. However, the matter was pushed back to May 2nd. The Canadian fashion mogul was convicted for contempt of court after failing to show up at the Supreme Court on 3 occasions to be sentenced for breaching a court order prohibiting him from illegal dredging at his Lyford Key home. Back in January, Supreme Court Judge Cheryl Grant Thompson issued a bench warrant for Nygaard's immediate arrest after he failed to show up for his sentencing hearing. She also issued a notice for the Canadian to show cause why he could not be committed to prison. Attorney Fred Smith QC, who represents the Coalition to Protect Clifton, claims Nygaard has shown a persistent and intentional disrespect for the court. Meantime, Nygaard has another hearing scheduled for Thursday morning before Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson. And still to come, we've got more highlights of the E. Clement Bethel National Arts Festival. That and more when the morning edition comes right back. Welcome back to the Morning Edition. In 2 weeks' time, Buju Banton's Long Walk to Freedom concert will come to Nassau. The highly anticipated event raised some concerns with the lineup of rap artists that include Kodak Black and Lil Duval. Paradise Productions executive Perez Roll explains the reasons behind the lineup.
It was always to mimic sort of a music festival of a sort. So we would select a particular artist from a genre that we think who would appeal to the masses more. And so the reasoning behind selecting the artists we did choose was to reach a wider demographics, because I know Buju himself appeals to the older generation. So for example, the Kodak Black would appeal to the younger demographic, the 16 to 24 age bracket. And we want this event to be all-encompassing. We don't want to exclude any age bracket, any group. We want there to be an environment where people can come and have different experiences, but at one venue. So that was the intention behind it.
The concert is set for March 30th at the National Stadium. Willis and the Illest are a part of the local entertainment lineup. A number of sponsors have come on board to ensure a successful event. Among the partners is Ultimate Security Solution. Lori Dame says security is a top priority.
Over 300 officers have been engaged for this event. The security team consists of members from the Dames Group, Ultimate Security Solutions, Falco's Security, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and NSA Security. As a strategic security plan has been set forth, which includes, and by no means limited to, searches and metal detectors at gates and many officers on patrol and posted throughout the stadium.
As the Royal Bahamas Police Force celebrates 179 years of service, their work has been enhanced by technology. One area that technology has assisted the police is its communication systems. Superintendent Damian Robinson heads the police unit that controls the streets of Nassau.
Well, technology has gone by leaps and bounds, as you know. I've been around on the police force 25 years. And I've seen the change in technology. It's simple with the with our communication system. This communication system right now, I can key up right now and I could call Inagua right from the patrol car or from this handset that I have. So that alone shows how far we have come with technology.
Superintendent Robinson also spoke about the latest technology to be implemented on the police force.
We also have the use of the body-worn cams, and as you would have heard and the Bahamas would have heard, in short order we have a new technology coming online, the Sport Shotter. It's a technology where any place in New Providence where a gunshot is fired, the technology will be able to zone and locate that, and it helps us to get to the scene much quicker instead of we trying to a person on the end of the phone line telling the control room, who then say to the units, okay, proceed to the yellow area, yellow elder, Old Cedar Street. The technology, it goes right, it is that quick, and it can be zoned in from our handheld cell phone.
5 junior high school students showed their prowess on the violin during the E. Clement Bethel National Arts Festival New Providence adjudications at the Dundas Center for the Performing Arts on Tuesday. From Queens College were Jordan Gibson, Angel Benaby, and Fendi Capron, while St. Anne's School's Brianna Pratt and St. Andrews International School's Jade McViven rounded out the class. Over the next 2 weeks, over 1,100 entrants in New Providence are expected to take part in dance, drama, voice, playing musical instruments, and the arts and craft. The Dundas Center is the venue for dance, musical instruments, and drama, while the Holy Trinity Church Activity Center in Stapleton Gardens is the venue for vocal performances. All events are free and open to the public. So Fisher, what's coming up in sports?
Well, coming up in sports, we told you that the New Providence Women's Basketball Championship Series was going to the decisive Game 5, where it looked like things have changed with that. And there's also an under-17 boys soccer team that's headed to Florida for a big tournament. We spoke with them, and we'll have some of those coming up later on in sports.
That and more ahead in sports. Stay close. We've got more news right after this. You're watching The Morning Edition.
Good morning once again. It seems that there won't be a decisive Game 5 in the New Providence Women's Basketball Association Championship Series after all. The Young Foxes Angels were awarded Game 3 after it was found out that the Bees Trucking Destroyers used an ineligible player. Destroyers won that Game 4, and then the series was tied 2-2. Forcing what appeared to be a decisive Game 5 tonight. Destroyers, well, they filed a protest and the tribunal was immediately established, and the findings are as follows.
We came to the conclusion that the Destroyers were actually right in protesting the decision to have 2 more games played. And along with the president, as I said, the tribunal, we have decided to award the series to the Bees Trucking Destroyers. We started our live starts late in the Women's League, and so we were just going on the books. And when we went back to the live starts, we realized that there was one game in particular that did not definitively say whether she did play or she did not play. And giving the benefit of the doubt, not saying that she did, but we couldn't say that she did not. And based on that decision, or based on what we saw, the 25% of the 12 games would have been 3. And so, you know, we erred on the side of caution this time after making our previous decision, and we decided to award the series to the Destroyers.
Meantime, our under-17 boys soccer team going through their final workouts before leaving Friday for the qualifying rounds of the CONCACAF tournament. Well, team manager Larry Mills on the full schedule of games.
Playing Aruba on the 17th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We play the second game on the 21st, and we're going to play Bonaire. We play Bonaire at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then we go on on the 2 days later, on the 23rd, we play Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe is maybe one of the strongest teams in that division. And then we go to St. Martin on the 25th. So we've got to play 4 games. if we are successful in this, we go on to the second round, which is also in April.
And that's going to put a wrap on sports for this Thursday morning. I'm Charles Fisher. Thanks for watching.
In our final look at weather, stall-out frontal boundary across the northwest and central Bahamas will wash away later on today, leaving behind patchy clouds over much of the northwest and central Bahamas, a few passing showers over the southeast Bahamas. And our forecast for today called for partial sunshine and still very breezy. High temperature getting up to 81 degrees. Tonight we're looking at partly cloudy, pretty nice with your low temperature down to about 68 degrees. And your extended weather forecast over the next 7 days, lots of sunshine right through the weekend, but come late Monday into Tuesday, another frontal system walks into our area. That will bring yet another cool down where we'll keep those temperatures in the 60s for you and getting into the low 60s by Thursday. So it's a good week shaping up weather-wise with some nice temperatures over the next several days. So, Dawn?
Thanks a lot, Basil. That is going to do it for us here on the Morning Edition. But before we leave, we would like to wish our weatherman, Basil Dean, and his lovely wife, Brenda, a very special happy wedding anniversary from us here at the Morning Edition. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm LaDawn Davis.